here, September 7th, week 1, NFL. This is a demo series, and what I'm going to do is dive into the calendar here. This is Mandy's calendar. She's the organizer. She has all this data on her calendar, and she sent it to our Create service, create@calendarsnack.com. That is a AWS SES mailbox. And essentially, when the calendar invites go there off an organizer's calendar, we disassemble them and store them to do all kinds of cool things with. So here's essentially what's going on in the background. Real quick, Mandy sent all her data here to this inbox, create@calendarsnack.com. It's a simple email service box. It's a metaphor to actually start a messaging pipeline for calendar invite ingest into the calendar invite server. So a bit abstract, you'll get it if in fact you go out and get a Calendar Snack and just give it a try. Essentially the data is stored here, and then it sits in here, and then it's ready for recall via our API 1, which essentially takes the UID out of the database, matches it to the email address, and sends out a specific calendar invite for that person when they interact with a website like this one here Arnie built for the 25-26 NFL season. Someone puts their email address in, clicks a button, any button they want for a particular game, that calendar invite is sent out. So that's the setup here real quick. And let me show you that we have the same data across all these containers right now. So you'll see here for the Denver game, which is coming up here in a few minutes, I'm going to drill into, this is Mandy's calendar. She's the organizer. This is Mandy's Calendar Snack interface, which is essentially running off those APIs, in which Arnie built this as well. It's running off our API kit that's going to get all of the organizer's data here. In this case, it's Mandy's data set. So in Mandy's data set, she has the same game. Let me just type in Denver in our little search head. Here's the Denver game here. You can see that these two data buckets are the same. Mandy's personal calendar invite that's communicating with this service here via APIs. In the background, we invented a piece of tech called the Calendar Invite Server. It's talking to what we call the CIS or Calendar Invite Server. And then what we're doing over on this crazy town over here is we have Arnie's mini site for the NFL. It's pulling the same data set. It's pulling the data set from these APIs right here. So it's pulling all Mandy's data using these APIs to build out this custom mini site for essentially the NFL schedule. So that's what we got going on. But I want to show you that there's no tricks here. We'll go to week 1. We'll scroll down, and you'll see that we're going to 225. So we scroll down, it's playing right now. If you go get the game details for the Broncos versus Tennessee's, you see that this is the data here. That data is the same as this data here, this data here. So this service here communicates with the API set here for the event organizer dashboard. The event organizer is Mandy between these two pieces of tech, her calendar client, and then her view into the calendar invite server using Calendar Snack bolted on top. So with that said, I'm going to change this data here, and you're going to see it parlay all the way down from this pipeline all the way across onto the anything attached to the APIs down here. When I hit a refresh for this page here for her organizer view to Calendar Snack running on a Calendar Invite server, which is ours, or the mini site, which Arnie built as well for the NFL, you'll see the data be updated. Now what you're going to see downstream is Zach already received a calendar invite. He went in to Mandy's page, which was shared to him, and he clicked a button for the Denver Broncos. So because he said yes to the game or maybe, we scored it in the database. We requested a participant request from his calendar client, and that data now is scored, and anybody that scored yes or maybe gets an automatic updated calendar invite. So you're going to see all this cool tech happen here in the background. So let's get to it. I'm going to pull out my notepad. I'm just going to use this here, something corny like this. Stop by and get a jersey at the game. Do a little correction here. And all I'm going to do is hit save, and it's going to talk to the calendar invite server via the APIs. And because this particular game has already been etched into the database here, as I go back, let me just pull up full screen real quick. Because this game here was etched into the database off of Mandy's calendar, it's sitting here in reserve, and it gets basically reconstituted, disassembled, and then goes through a +1 update, and it's ready for API 1 right here to be using it all over again. So that's what's going on. Here is what happened. So I bought a little time. I'll hit refresh here in the demo, and you'll see that this is the insert here in the database, and then the record pulled the APIs and refreshed the screen here. I'm going to go to the live data set over here. I'm going to hit refresh here. We should get the same. Oops, sorry about that. Go back here, refresh the screen. Go back to week 1. We did a good refresh there. We'll scroll down to the game for the Broncos as I scroll. Game details are here, and you see that this data here got updated here in the display, so everything's working fine. And then Zach finally received his calendar invite because he had already said yes or maybe to the game, and he gets an automatic calendar invite from the organizer in this pipeline flow. So what happened in pipeline flow was this here. So I'll just go to this macro slide here, make it real quick, and I'll get out of the demo for y'all. So update happened here, number 1 with Mandy. The new and updates and cancels happen with Mandy. She's the organizer. Gets processed in the pipeline. We disassemble it. We staple it in the database itself. We do some Lambda functions to disassemble it itself. We get it stored right. We do a UID. And when we update it, we do a +1 increment and actually track it. And then upon recall or hydration, when the API 1 is called right here, we rehydrate the data out of the database, we reassemble the calendar invite, and we send it back out to Zach. So that's what happened. So anything that's storage attached via the API, if you will, in the interfaces that we're calling, these 7 APIs to Arnie's pieces of GUI he built for us here, for the calendar invite server, are stapled together. So anytime this data is updated, the refreshes happen in the database and the API gateway is hit, and they refresh in these screens, and then downstream to any calendar invite, we reassemble automatically and then send them out. Now what's happening in the background in particular is right here, the update will happen in here. So you can see that in particular, Zach was tentative, and now he said yes, and you'll see this data change here. He is now yes. That's in the demo. Thanks.